What's up guys, Blade Master here, back with some more Total War Rome 2 online action, and this is going to be the first of a couple battles that I'm going to show to you between Pound v Pound, or Pound W Pound, and me, yours truly, Blade Master. And in this one he's taken Carthage, it looks like. Yeah, you can see these late Libyan hoplites here, and I'm going to reveal my faction. Well, actually no, I'm going to put that in the title anyway. So yeah, I've taken Odrysian Kingdom, so this is going to be Carthage versus Odrysian Kingdom. I'm going to take a look at his army first before I show you guys anything else. He's taken 5 late Libyan hoplites, and that's going to be his front line. He's brought 3 mercenary Balearic slingers behind them and 1 mercenary Cretan archer. Finally, he's brought a total of 3 noble cavalry, so 2 over here, 1 over there, and 1 Carthaginian cavalry here and 2 Carthaginian cavalry over there. So it looks like he's brought 3 noble cavalry, 3 Carthaginian cavalry, and his melee infantry line is going to be only 4 mercenary Gallic warriors. Finally, he's brought 1 African war elephant general. So on paper, this looks like a pretty decent anti-Odrysian Kingdom build. You know, I wouldn't bring African war elephants just because they seem more of a hindrance than anything else. But he's chosen not to fight fire with fire. Like, he hasn't brought any swords. I mean, any decent swords, which is good because you don't want to engage in a sword fight against Odrysian Kingdom, because those Falxes are just going to smash through anything that the Carthaginians have to offer, except maybe like mercenary noble fighters. So instead he spent a lot of money on his shock cav, which is a smart move because while noble cav aren't very good cavalry against Odrysian Kingdom and their terrible melee defense of like the Falx units, a rear charge from noble cav should be able to destroy most, if not all, Falx units. So on top of that, he's brought 4 mercenary Gallic warriors. We know that these units are pretty decent at a holding role for such a cheap unit. So ideally, like, he can block a frontal charge from the Falxes with his late Libyan hoplites, and use his Balearic slingers and his Cretan archers to fire from behind them, and then come in with some rear charges from his noble shock cav, and then maybe his general as well. So let's see how that goes. I've brought a total of 4 Thracian cavalry. This is going to be the reveal of my army. I've brought a total of 4 Thracian cavalry, 2 on either flank, and that's the reason why you saw him move around with his African war elephants and his Balearic slingers. So he's to counter the fact that I brought 4 of these javelin cavalry, he's moved all of his skirmishers to one flank or the other, and that's a good move. I mean, he's done it pretty early on in the game, and this is going to dissuade me from trying to be too aggressive with my javelin cav. If I can even get like a couple of flaming shot volleys on his African war elephants, they will start running amok. As for the rest of my army, though, here's the big reveal. Not a single Falx in this army. So this is going to be a no Falx Odrysian Kingdom army. I gained a lot of subscribers from my no cav Lusitania army. Let's see how well this one does. So yeah, not a single Falxman. I brought a total of 4 Thracian royal cav instead. And I've brought a spear line, so I brought a total of 3 mercenary hoplites and 4 Dacian spearmen. And finally, I've brought 2 Thracian peltas and 3 Thracian skirmishers. Now you must be wondering, why the hell are you so stupid? Like, why have you decided to not bring a single Falxman? 2 reasons. One, I wanted to kind of prove that the Odrysian Kingdom isn't as much of a one-trick pony as people make them out to be. And 2, I wanted to see if I could try and use my surprise to win me this battle, like use the power of surprising your opponent to win you a battle. So on paper, his Carthaginian army, Pound W Pound's Carthaginian army, is just a great army to take on Odrysian Kingdom, and if they bring a lot of Falxes, which you should expect from Odrysian Kingdom. But against a spear corps, I wouldn't really I wouldn't really count on them winning, because late Libyan hoplites are going to face up against mercenary hoplites. That's going to be a non-factor in this game. Who cares who's going to win that battle? The actual battle is going to be won or lost based on how well my Thracian peltas do and how well my Thracian royal cav does. So in terms of the cavalry engagement, I've got the upper hand. I wouldn't rate noble cav very high. On top of that, I've got more than enough spears to back up any sort of infantry, any sort of cav battle. Finally, these Thracian cavs should also be a huge pain in the ass, either in destroying his cavalry with their javelins or getting some rear charges in, some sneaky charges in on his Balearic slingers while they try and fire at my troops. And again, he spent a lot of money on skirmishers. Again, if he spent like the max amount of money, like bringing 3 Cretan archers and 3 Balearic slingers, he would be even more screwed because whom are they going to fire on? They're going to fire on like these heavily armored hoplites or these Dacian spears. Like, who cares about all of them? If he could destroy my Thracian skirmishers or Thracian peltas, these guys have very poor armor. But that's what these Thracian cavalry are here for. They're all the way at the back of his line, so I can rear charge his skirmish line anytime I want. On top of that, I've got Thracian Royal Cav too. So, and they are positioned pretty close to my troops, so I could charge into these guys and at the very least engage them and hold them off. For a long enough time for my Thracian peltas and skirmishers to do their work. So these skirmishers and peltas have 41 missile damage. If you guys didn't know, the highest missile damage for any sort of missile unit. On top of that, take a look at this: 8 shots per minute on Thracian peltas, high 7 on Thracian skirmishers, and on top of that, Thracian peltas have the ability of quick reload, so they will just absolutely shatter any sort of cavalry or in this case elephant unit if he manages to leave them, or if I manage to catch them for even a couple of seconds. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the let's put it on full speed. I'm going to get a pretty decent charge off on his Balearic slingers, it looks like. Yeah, these Thracian cavalry should make short work of them. It all depends on my coordination at this point. His Carthaginian cav is going to engage with these Thracian cavalry and they will destroy them. And I'm bringing my Thracian noble cav to support, but he's got a nice charge off with this noble cav on the other hand. But here's where his African royal elephants are going to become a huge liability. Dacian spears are going to protect my Thracian peltas and Thracian skirmishers. Meanwhile, they're just going to start smashing these African elephants. I've put quick reload on one of them. I haven't put fire or flaming shot because they're going to start wavering, or they're going to start running amok either way. You can see the javelin is just causing this massive devastation on this African royal elephant unit. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, they're done. In a matter of seconds. So yeah, that's one really good thing of having 41 missile damage skirmishers. So yeah, this elephant is done. I've created a huge blob here with these mercenary Gallic warriors. My Thracian cav, which initially charged in here, has routed, but it did its job. It held off those Gallic warriors for a long enough time. And now this is just going to cause a huge state of panic for all of these units, because I've killed off his general really early on in the game, and that's going to cause this morale penalty that's going to shatter these mercenary Gallic warriors even though they're at full strength. So 119 units and they've shattered. This is just going to cause this huge chain rout here. These noble cav are not going to do very much on in extended melee. In here, I've taken care of the right flank too because of timely support from my Thracian peltas, and I've also managed to engage his mercenary Balearic slingers so before they do a lot of damage on my peltas units. I've caught his noble cav. They're already at half strength, but whom are they going to charge into now? I've already caught them with one of my mercenary hoplites, and if they decide to charge into these Thracian skirmishes, granted they'll get some kills, but it's not the damage has already been done. And here I've routed his late Libyan hoplites. They don't have good morale, so the fact that I managed to get rid of his general really early on in the game was a huge boost for me, and that's just another reason why I wouldn't bring African royal elephant generals. Rear charging this huge blob here, and yeah, you can see these Cretan archers are starting to waver. I managed to catch them with my Thracian cav, and I love these units, man. They're probably the second best javelin cavalry unit after maybe Galatian raiders, because they're so cheap. And they have, they have 32 missile damage, which is really good. I mean, it's better than skirmisher cavalry and they cost pretty similar to like skirmish cavalry. They're very cheap. And on top of that, they've got great melee stats. I mean, like 40 melee attack, 36 melee or weapon damage. So they're perfect for taking out skirmishers. Now, I'm just going to hammer and anvil the rest of his troops into oblivion. These late Libyan hoplites were never going to be a force to begin with. Even if I brought a false army, they would have just been there to hold off my units. And since that I've not even brought them, they're going to be even more of a non-factor. I destroyed all the units that could have caused a big, all of his aggressive units. I killed off his general, I killed off his noble cav, and everything else that could be a problem at the start of the game. And all that was left was his main line that I've managed to hammer and anvil and destroy. So that's a close victory for me, and I think the fact that I managed to surprise my opponent with this type of build really helped me. I'm sure he wouldn't have expected something like an Odrysian kingdom army with no foxes, and that worked in my favor. Of course, it's a risk when you don't bring a single foxman. Like, that is a huge risk. But I mean, you can see that sometimes it works, and this is one of those cases. My Thracian skirmishers and Thracian peltas did really well. I mean, I counted on these guys to do well if I wanted to win the game. And Thracian cavalry also did really well. My Thracian royal cav were supposed to do well, and they did okay. But yeah, I think the game was won and lost when, I think the game was won when I managed to rear charge his Balearic slingers with my Thracian cavalry, and at the same time I managed to kill off his general, within a couple of seconds. Yeah, you could see those mercenary Gallic warriors. They routed with 119 men. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this replay, and stay tuned for more. Peace.